What is going on? This is Cody, and you are tuned into B-Boy 45, broadcasting from the Seacrest Studios here at Children's Hospital, Colorado. And it is another special edition of the latest news to keep you in the groove with Maya. Maya, who's online with us today?
Jonah Kagen.
Jonah, welcome.
What's up? I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you so much. I just want to say I am so excited to be talking to you. I have been so excited since we started setting this up, so I'm so happy that it's finally happening.
That's so sweet. Likewise.
All right, Maya, take it away.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that before I get to my first question, just that your music means so much to me, and I listen to it all the time. And I also just want to say congratulations on your recent graduation from Cornell.
Thank you so much for both of those things. That means the world to me. That's why I do it. So thank you.
Yeah. So my first question for you is, when did you first discover your love of music and of the guitar?
Yeah, that's a great question. I started off very early. So when I was really little, my like 4 or 5, 6, my grandfather used to show me. He was in a jazz band. And there was a semi-popular jazz band during his time when they were playing. And he played with this guitarist named Danny Gatton, who was like this unbelievable jazz guitarist. And my grandfather used to show me videos of him and tell me about him all the time because he was just in awe of his musicianship. So I used to watch all of those videos and talk about music with my grandfather and things like that. And I just found myself wanting to be that. And so that was why I got into guitar, was because I wanted to be, I watched my grandfather, who I idolize somebody else. And I was very I wanted to be that person. And I wanted to share I saw how passionate he was about music. And then I just started taking lessons when I was 6, and then just completely fell in love with it after that. And it was no turning back at that point, I think.
Oh, cool. So who are your musical influences?
I have a good chunk of them, because I think I'm so very inspired by so many different musicians, just because I think everybody brings something very unique to the table when they're doing, and I have so much respect for people that have chosen to do this with their life. But I think personally, as far as music goes, this guy called Andy McKee was always my inspiration for guitar. He was the reason why he's an incredible acoustic guitarist. And he was the reason why I started playing the way that I did. And so I got into it, obviously, because of my grandfather, and he's my original inspiration, of course. But I kind of stopped playing jazz and left that world because of Andy McKee, because I was so obsessed with the way that he was playing the guitar. And I heard him do things that I had never heard anybody do with that instrument. And it was just so beautiful and so melodic. And so he's still one of my biggest inspirations today. And then aside from that, I actually grew up going through middle school and high school. I listened to a lot of electronic music, actually. And I listened to Kagen and Matoma and these DJs that I just love. It was very similar. It was something about the melodies that I loved so much. And I actually got to work with Matoma, which was one of my idols too, which was such an incredible experience. But and then nowadays I'm feeling really inspired by a lot of more folky artists and more acoustic artists, as far as lyrics go, especially people like Noah Kahan. I idolize completely, and I love the way that they write and put themselves out there. Same thing with Gregory Alan Isakov and Simmel. So it's kind of a wide range, I think, but it's just, I think that's the way that it should be with music. You know, everybody has something unique about them. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. So is there one song you've written that has the most meaning to you?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, I think the way that I write too, again, it's very like, I want to make sure that I'm putting out things that are very real stories. And I think if I had to pick one that is out right now, it's definitely Broken. Just because that song meant a lot to me for not necessarily for personal reasons, but more so I saw it kind of resonate with so many people. And I watched people attach themselves to that song and realize that other people were going through the same thing, and hearing how that song helped people heal and helped people through tough times and things like that. There was nothing like that. It was just very, very special. Aside from that, I think personally, the Moon is a very personal story for me. And that one I was attached to for sure. But then aside from that, actually, the ones that I'm about to be releasing soon, which I'm announcing today, actually, is a better place to do it here than any, I think. I'm releasing my next song very soon, and that is actually probably the most meaningful yet. So hopefully you'll get to hear that very soon.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Amazing. Me too, honestly.
So I was wondering if you have any plans to release an album and or go on tour soon.
Yes, that is an amazing question. That is $1 million question. It's sort of, as far as releasing music goes, my whole plan right now, I just moved out to California, just graduated college, and it's just kind of my whole life is just about music. So my plan is to release as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So I am releasing hopefully at least a song every 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. Starting with this first release that is coming up pretty soon. And then hopefully building towards an album eventually. So I think it's a matter of just kind of timing and when, but I'm sitting on so many songs that I think are amazing, and I would love to put them together into an album. So we'll see, but a lot of music will be coming out. And then as far as tour goes, yes, I actually 1 month from today, exactly, my very first show with Maisie Peters is in Minneapolis, and I'm going on tour with her for a month. And then, so I'll be on tour with Maisie, opening for Maisie. She's incredible. And that'll be 1 month in the United States. And then from there, who knows? We'll see what happens after that. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's so cool. I love Maisie Peters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Maisie Peters too. I think she's incredible. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. We've been talking a whole lot too. And actually my rehearsals start this weekend. So we'll be getting ready.
Wow. Oh, cool. Yeah. So what is your songwriting process like?
Yeah. For me, it almost always starts with the guitar first. Just because that was kind of like my home instrument. You know, that was like the thing that got me into music and the thing that feels most comfortable. So usually I end up just kind of playing different little riffs and just jamming in my room or wherever. And I hear something that I really like and keep playing it. I'll kind of record it and keep playing it over and over. And then eventually I kind of hear a line in my head, like with Broken, for example. It started off with that guitar part that you hear at the beginning. And then I heard the Pull Me Out the Fire line was the one that I heard first. And I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of a cool line. And then from there, just thought about what story I could kind of build out of that. And so that's kind of the way that it works normally, is it starts musically and then here's some sort of like line in my head. And then you just build out a story that you think is very meaningful from there.
Cool. Yeah, I remember the first time I heard Broken, I was just crying.
Oh, hopefully not in a bad way. I hate that's funny. It's when people have said that they cried to it, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I should feel happy or sad about that.
Yeah. Yes, it lets out, it's like lets all the emotions go and everything you're feeling. So
yeah, I've it's funny, like when I was writing it too, it was very like I was almost detached from the story, and it wasn't until the song was done that I listened to it, and I was like, oh, wow. And it kind of made me do the same thing. Even though it came from me, it was just like, it was like you said, it's just letting it all out. Whatever you're feeling at that time, just kind of lets it pour out. So I'm happy at least that you had that reaction, but I don't like that you cried, obviously.
Yeah, not to any of your other songs.
Okay,
so.
good. At least that.
Yeah. So do you have any like pre-recording or pre-show rituals?
Ooh. Yeah, I what's funny though is I actually haven't done any live performance. So my first live performance is going to be with Maisie on 1 month from today. So I have no idea, but we'll see for the live performance. However, when I'm recording, I think it's like, for me, I didn't start singing that long ago. So my voice is I don't really know what it does still. And so I have like this, I just try to get as loose as possible. And it's more just like, make sure that I'm in like, not, shoulders up tight mood. It's more like, as long as I'm relaxed and just having fun with the people, being around like the good people when I'm recording is one of the best things too, because it's just like makes it feel more effortless. But even while I'm recording, like I like to have fun. I like to be joking. I like to be, and I think that's the way that the emotion actually comes off properly. Just getting comfortable with yourself, and then also getting in touch with whatever emotion the song is trying to convey. So I think that's probably it's not necessarily a specific set of things, but it's definitely just getting loose.
Yeah. So what are the top 3 songs that you have on repeat on your playlist?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll tell you what I've been listening to a lot recently. I'll pull it up. Number 1 for sure is called Hollow by Noah Kahan. I absolutely love that song. Let's see what else is on here. I've been listening to so much. The other one is called Molly by Jordy Searcy. That one definitely I've been listening to so much. And then probably I got to pick one more, huh? Probably I have all of these are like Noah Kahan songs, so I have to not make sure that I'm not fangirling too hard on him. I would say probably Girl by Simmel. Those are the ones that I've been streaming the most right now, I believe.
Yeah, I'm writing all of these down. So
amazing.
Yeah, now I'm forgetting what the song is called, but there's another song by Simmel that I haven't heard that many of his songs, but there's another song of his that I love that now I'm completely blanking on the name too.
I bet it is. Is it Where's My Love? Is that the one?
No.
Okay, then it might be a different one. Where's My Love is his most popular one. But either way, he's got a ton of cool music. I love the emotion in all of those songs, honestly. They're great.
Yeah. The first song I heard of his was which is the one that I'm blanking on the name of. But it was I heard it because over quarantine, I binge watched all of All American,
Oh yeah.
show, and his song was in an episode of that. And so,
That's awesome. I never actually watched All American, but a lot of my friends did, and they said that it was really good. Was it any good?
yeah, it's so good.
All right. Well, maybe with that endorsement, I feel like I might have to now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's with Tay Diggs, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Cody Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, but
All right.
yeah.
Maybe I'll watch it. I'll have to watch. I'll watch it tonight, just because you said that it was worth it. I'll make sure that I do.
Okay, yay. So, what would a musical about your life be called?
Oh man, a musical about my life. Probably something like "What is going on," or like, or I don't know what is real and what is not. That's probably what I think it would be. Is something highly discombobulating, something that is just like, I don't understand what's going on. That's probably a good. I'm sure I could find a more clever title for that, but something along the lines of like, "Oh wow, what is happening?" Yeah, I think that would be good.
Oh, I like that.
It's in a good way. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. So, who would you cast in
my
your
musical?
Yeah.
I would probably cast. Are these like actors and actresses, or is this like real, like people from my life?
Actors and actresses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I would probably cast Emma Watson, because I'm in love with Emma Watson. I think I would probably cast Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And The Rock.
I like those. Those are good people.
At least those are just three. You know, I think I would have. I would probably have more if I thought about it, but yeah, off the top of my head, those three for sure.
Yeah, I was talking to my sister a while ago about this. I asked her that question,
Yeah.
and I told her, I was like, I would need Jonathan Groff to play my best friend.
That's great. That's an awesome choice. Did you have, what other ones did you have?
Oh, Reese Witherspoon, Ben Platt.
Oh yeah, another choice.
Yeah. There's an actress. Her name is Paris Bareilles.
Okay.
That I love, and so I think I'd want her to play me.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Who would be playing who? I guess I would want The Rock to play me just for my own self-esteem purposes, you know, just so I can internalize the feeling of The Rock and maybe just be like, yeah, he represents me, you know, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there a place that you hope to perform one day?
Absolutely. Yes. I have. So I have like definitely places in the world that I'd love to perform. And then I have venues that I would really love to perform. I think Radio City Music Hall in New York City is like that's a huge one. Coachella is a huge one in California. And then places like I'd love to play in like somewhere overseas, dude. I'd love to play in Europe, anywhere in Europe, or I'd love to play in like Norway places like that. I'd love to play in Egypt. I'd love to just travel to kind of like places that I wouldn't necessarily have been able to go to had music not brought me there. But yeah, I think as far as venues go, though, definitely Radio City Music Hall is my big one.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So is there a line from a movie, song, or book that's had a big impact on you?
It's funny. I have so many like things that pieces of art or literature, that things like that I have internalized that I think have helped me. But I'm trying to imagine things that I have a couple. I think one would be it's not necessarily from a song or a movie or anything like that. But one thing that I've spoken about a whole lot with my family and my sister specifically is like the concept of leaning into something. Like if something is going well, just lean into it. Don't hesitate. Don't be afraid to commit. Don't be afraid to take the next step. Lean into it. And I love that. Anytime it's like you feel any sort of resistance or any sort of hesitance to do something, instead of thinking about the consequences or instead of overthinking and, kind of doubting yourself, just lean into it and see what happens. Because the worst that could happen is that it doesn't go right, but you know that you leaned into it. So it was fine. And I have found that some of the best things in my life have come when I have leaned into them. So I think that's probably like the closest to my heart. But then I don't know if you've ever read The Alchemist, the book, The Alchemist. It is.
I started reading that, and then I don't remember why I didn't finish it. But
yeah. If you have a chance to finish it, I think you should, just because it's that book changed the way that I thought about a lot of things also. And it's very, just kind of talks, I won't go too deep into what it is, but it's more just like, don't ignore the things that are happening around you, and that there are far fewer coincidences than you think, where it's like, if there's some crazy coincidence, like you stumble upon something that means something to you, don't ignore it, because the universe is communicating with you, things like that. So I think that's probably, and then I have a bunch of songs, obviously, that I think are just like incredibly written. But as far as quotes and things that I've used for my life, those are the ones for sure.
Oh, cool. Yeah, like that. Isn't like, for me, there's like a ton of quotes from things that I think about, but like I don't know. There's just there's a lot of lines from Ben Platt songs that have stuck with me. Like whenever I hear his songs, Better or Hurt Me Once, or So Will I love all of his songs, but I really love those songs, and it just takes me, like the power, I'm always kind of like amazed at the power of music, like how hearing those songs take me back to like, I listened to those like on a loop during lockdown. Yeah. And so when I hear those, I'm like taken right back there to like how I felt and everything about that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, because I have songs that are like that too, where it's like you hear it the moment that you hear some certain song. It not only does it make you like, it literally makes you feel the thing that you felt when you first heard it. So it was like that. Some things make you like smell a certain thing. Some things make you taste a certain thing. Some things just put you right in the moment where you were supposed to be. I think that is like, it's one of the reasons why I studied psychology, actually, was for that exact reason. I was just like being able to hear something, and all of a sudden all of these unlocked things in your brain start coming out. That's amazing.
Yeah. I think psychology is so interesting. my mom actually majored in that when she in college, and yeah, so and like over the years, my sister and I have talked to her about it because we're all just so interested in that, and it's like, yeah, I just think it's so interesting.
It's so powerful. That's really cool that your mom did that. Actually, those are having conversations about things like that are some of the coolest conversations I think I've ever had, and it's just very powerful.
Yeah. So are there any shows that you're currently binge watching?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm like a serial watcher of New Girl. I watch New Girl so much. New Girl, I actually see what's funny is I was an Office guy for sure. I watched The Office like 14 billion times. And then after I like got to the point where I had memorized pretty much every single line, I was like, okay, maybe this is like unhealthy. I probably shouldn't keep watching this. Then I switched to New Girl. However, now I finished New Girl through like 9 or 10 times, and now I'm kind of like, okay, I'm at the same point that I was with The Office. So I just started Peaky Blinders. I just made it through the first season of Peaky Blinders, and I'm pretty hooked on that right now.
Oh, cool.
What about you?
I am right now. I'm watching. My mom and I are watching Only Murders in the Building on Hulu, and that one is really good.
What about that?
Yeah, one of my favorite ones that we watched. This was like over the summer, but we watched all of Teen Wolf.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, and it's so good. I love that show.
I'm afraid to watch Teen Wolf because I feel like that's gonna happen to me too. Same thing. Everybody. I feel like there's no other way to watch that show except just completely binge watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. We've got 2 show endorsements from you tonight. That's amazing.
Have you ever seen Will and Grace?
I haven't, but I know a lot of people who have, but I haven't seen it myself. No.
Okay, that's like my favorite show ever. I watch it all the time. So
I got it.
I highly suggest that.
Right, you got it. Come on.
So I have to write down Peaky Blinders. Okay, because I've heard of that, but I haven't watched it. So
it's great. It's very intense, I think, but it's intense in a good way. It's okay. Cool. It's a cool show.
Okay, cool. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Oh, wow. I had literally 3 people jump into my head immediately, and it's just my entire family. But it is my mom was the first one that popped into my head. I don't think there is anybody like her on the entire planet. And I don't think there's anybody that can do anything even remotely close to what she can do. She's just an incredibly, incredibly strong person that I've seen do things that I've just been like, it's unattainable. And then my sister, very similar sentiment actually, but in her own way. She's just kind of been like, she's been able to set the example for me for pretty much every aspect of my life. And I always say she's gone through the hard stuff so that she can tell me about how to get through it. She goes through it first, and then she can tell me because she's older. And then my dad, same thing in his own way. It's just, I don't know how all of these people can be so kind and generous and caring and still be so incredibly passionate, successful, driven, efficient, hardworking. My whole family is just I'm forever grateful for them, and I will always think of them as superheroes. But they are very special to me. So definitely.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, my mom and my sister are my superheroes.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good too, because there are so many people who don't see it that way. I think, as far as don't have that relationship. So make sure you cherish that relationship. I've learned so very quickly, especially just even in music, like going into this, as long as you keep your family close, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. During lockdown, we were all joking that it's very good that we're all so close, because we were quarantined together in this house for months and we weren't sick of each other. So
very, very true. That is probably the biggest blessing you could have asked for, is that you guys actually got along and you're not, you don't hate each other just yet. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling. And I had so much fun talking to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, me too, Maya. That was amazing. You're amazing. I absolutely love what you're doing. Please don't stop. Keep it up. And
thank you.
Say hello to your family for me also.
I will.
Thank you, Jonah. I know that Maya will keep us updated to when and where we can see you, and about all the new songs that are coming out and everything. So we look forward to that, and we appreciate you spending so much time with us today. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you guys so much. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.